Welcome to our channel, where we delve into the shadows, whispering tales of terror and unearthing the unsettling truths that haunt our world. Tonight, we journey to the desolate landscapes of abandoned airfields, places where the echoes of engines have long since faded, replaced by an eerie silence that chills the bone. We've collected 3 spine-chilling stories of these forgotten fields of flight, each one a chilling testament to the lingering presence of the past. So dim the lights, turn up the volume, and prepare to be drawn into the unsettling world of haunted abandoned airfields. Our first story takes us to a forgotten corner of the American heartland, a place where time seems to stand still. Imagine, if you will, a vast expanse of cracked concrete, weeds pushing through the tarmac like skeletal fingers reaching for the sky. This is all that remains of Miller Airfield, once a bustling hub of military might, now a desolate monument to a bygone era. The silence here is almost deafening, broken only by the mournful sigh of the wind as it whistles through the shattered windows of the crumbling hangars. Locals tell tales of the base's haunted past, whispering of phantom aircraft that soar through the night sky, their engines a ghostly drone that sends shivers down your spine. They say that Miller Airfield is haunted by the spirits of soldiers who never made it home, their souls forever tethered to the place where they last took flight. One particular story speaks of a young pilot named Lieutenant James "Jimmy" Carter. A decorated fighter ace, Jimmy was beloved by his men, known for his infectious grin and unwavering courage. But fate, it seemed, had other plans. During a routine training exercise, Jimmy's plane experienced a catastrophic engine failure. He went down just beyond the airfield's perimeter, his plane engulfed in a fiery inferno. Despite a desperate search and rescue effort, Jimmy's body was never recovered. Some say his spirit never left. Visitors to Miller Airfield have reported seeing a lone figure in a bomber jacket standing at the edge of the runway, his gaze fixed on the horizon as if waiting for a squadron that will never return. Others claim to have heard his laughter echoing through the empty hangars, a chilling reminder of the life cut tragically short. But perhaps the most unsettling account comes from a group of paranormal investigators who dared to spend the night at the abandoned base. Armed with EMF readers and audio recorders, they ventured into the heart of the derelict control tower, hoping to capture evidence of the airfield's spectral residents. As the night wore on, the investigators began to experience a series of increasingly disturbing events. They heard footsteps echoing in the halls above them, heavy and deliberate, as if someone or something was pacing back and forth, their unseen presence growing stronger with every passing moment. The air grew heavy, thick with an oppressive sense of dread. Then the EMF readers began to spike wildly, their needles dancing erratically as if responding to an unseen energy source. One of the investigators, a seasoned ghost hunter named Mark, swore he saw a shadowy figure manifest in the corner of the room. He described it as a tall, imposing silhouette, its features obscured by darkness, but its eyes burned with a cold, malevolent intensity that sent shivers down his spine. Terrified, the investigators fled the control tower, their equipment abandoned in their haste to escape the haunted airfield. They vowed never to return, their experiences at Miller Airfield forever seared into their memories. The stories of Miller Airfield serve as a chilling reminder that some places are forever marked by tragedy, their grounds stained with the indelible mark of the past. Our next tale takes us to the windswept plains of the Midwest, to a desolate stretch of land known as Hamilton Airfield. Abandoned for decades, Hamilton has become a magnet for paranormal enthusiasts and thrill-seekers drawn to its eerie tales of ghostly lights and spectral figures. Unlike Miller Airfield, with its tangible connection to a tragic past, Hamilton's haunting seems to stem from a more ethereal, almost otherworldly source. Locals tell of strange lights that dance across the runway at night, flickering orbs of light that zip and weave through the darkness, defying any logical explanation. Some believe these lights are the spirits of lost pilots, their souls forever bound to the airfield where they met their untimely demise. Others whisper of a mysterious woman in white who wanders the airfield at night, her mournful cries echoing through the empty hangars, searching for something or someone she lost long ago. One chilling account comes from a young couple out for a late-night drive who stumbled upon Hamilton Airfield quite by accident. Intrigued by the sight of the abandoned runway bathed in the eerie glow of the moon, they decided to stop and explore. As they stepped out of their car, they were immediately struck by an oppressive silence that seemed to blanket the airfield. It was as if the very air was heavy with unseen eyes watching their every move. Undeterred, the couple ventured onto the runway, their footsteps echoing eerily in the stillness. As they walked, they noticed a faint light flickering in the distance, at the far end of the runway. Curious, they cautiously approached the light, their hearts pounding in their chests. As they drew closer, the light grew brighter, resolving itself into a swirling vortex of colors, reds, blues, and greens, dancing and pulsating before their very eyes. Suddenly the air grew cold, and the couple felt an overwhelming sense of dread wash over them. It was then that they heard it, a low, mournful moan coming from the heart of the swirling light. Frozen in terror, they watched as a figure began to emerge from the light, a translucent form, its features indistinct, but its eyes burned with a cold, ethereal fire. Terrified, the couple turned and fled back to their car, the mournful cries of the apparition echoing in their ears. They sped away from Hamilton Airfield, their tires kicking up dust as they raced into the night, the terrifying image of the ghostly figure seared into their minds. Hamilton Airfield stands as a stark reminder that some mysteries are beyond our comprehension, places where the veil between our world and the next wears thin, allowing glimpses of the ethereal realm to bleed through. Shadows of a bygone crash, the tragic accident site. Our final destination takes us to the desolate outskirts of a once thriving industrial town, to a place known as Blackwood Airfield. Now reclaimed by nature, its runways cracked and overgrown, Blackwood holds a dark secret, a tragic past that continues to haunt its grounds. Decades ago, Blackwood Airfield was the site of a horrific plane crash, a tragedy that claimed the lives of all those on board. The crash was attributed to pilot error, a tragic mistake that sent the aircraft plummeting to the earth in a fiery explosion. But whispers of a more sinister explanation persist, fueled by the unsettling events that have plagued the airfield ever since. Locals tell of phantom cries echoing through the night, the anguished screams of souls forever trapped in the throes of their final moments. Others speak of shadowy figures wandering the crash site, their forms flickering in and out of existence as if searching for something lost in the wreckage. One particularly chilling account comes from a group of teenagers who dared to venture into the abandoned airfield one Halloween night, eager to test their courage against the legends of Blackwood. Armed with flashlights and a healthy dose of teenage bravado, they made their way to the far end of the runway, to the very spot where the ill-fated aircraft had met its fiery end. As they approached the crash site, the air grew noticeably colder, and a heavy silence descended upon them. The teenagers exchanged uneasy glances, their bravado beginning to waver in the face of the palpable sense of dread that permeated the air. Suddenly, one of the teenagers, a girl named Sarah, cried out in terror, pointing to a figure standing amongst the twisted metal and charred debris of the crash site. The other teenagers turned to look, their blood running cold at the sight before them. Standing amidst the wreckage was a man, his clothes torn and singed, his face contorted in a silent scream of agony. His eyes, wide with terror, seemed to burn into their very souls. As quickly as it had appeared, the figure vanished, leaving the terrified teenagers standing in stunned silence. Shaking off their fear, they turned and fled Blackwood Airfield, their Halloween prank turned into a night of genuine terror. The stories of Blackwood Airfield serve as a chilling reminder that some tragedies leave an indelible mark on the places where they occur, their echoes resonating through time, haunting all who dare to venture within their grasp. Until next time, thank you for joining us on this terrifying journey through haunted abandoned airfields. We've explored the desolate remains of Miller Airfield, haunted by the echoes of fallen soldiers, felt the unsettling energy of Hamilton Airfield, where ghostly lights dance and apparitions roam, and confronted the tragic past of Blackwood Airfield, forever marked by a horrific plane crash. If you enjoyed these stories, be sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more explorations into the dark corners of our world. Until next time, sleep tight and remember, sometimes the most terrifying tales are those rooted in reality.